Hi everyone, welcome back to Camel Sync. Our story today starts in the 1700s with some interest from some very bright minds into electrical discharge phenomena. In the 18th and 19th century, the English physicists Michael Dirac, Joseph John Thomson, and John Seeley Edward Townsend made advancements in related. Finally, in 1923, Irving Langmuir did his own studies into and named the subject of today's video, plasma. He named it this after blood plasma, which you might be familiar with, due to the fluid nature in which it carries ions and electrons. He saw it as similar to how blood plasma carries white blood cells, proteins, and other important biological goodies. When a gas is sufficiently heated so that some of its electrons are shed from its atoms, it becomes plasma. Plasma is a gas-like state that consists of ions, electrons, and neutral atoms. Plasma is similar to gas, but it's not the same, as gas is only comprised of neutral atoms. Our fourth state of matter here consists roughly of the same amount of positively and negatively charged particles. The negative charge is carried by electrons, while the positive charge is carried by ions. These ions are positively charged due to the shedding of electrons I mentioned at the beginning of this segment, meaning they have more protons than electrons now. Those negative electrons I spoke of are the shed electrons from that ionization. So basically, you have an atom, like you have a neutral atom. It has the same number of electrons and protons, roughly. When the gas is superheated, an electron flies off, and then that becomes a negatively charged electron, and then what you have left is an ion. It has more protons because an electron left. At least how I understand it. This composition allows electric current to flow through it and for it to react to magnetic and electrical fields. Now, not all plasma needs to be partially ionized. I spoke about how regular gas was not ionized at all, it just has all neutral atoms. There is partially ionized plasma, and then there are forms of plasma that are fully ionized where it has no neutral atoms. On top of being somewhat gas-like, it is also somewhat liquid-like in the way that it's a fluid. Although in liquids and gases particles bounce around and hit each other often, they don't in plasma. The particles are more prone to moving around one another and not colliding. However, it still will do things like take the shape of a container. The most common ways you run into plasma in your day-to-day life would be things like plasma TVs, plasma cutters, fluorescent lights, lightning, and then you have stars, the aurora borealis, the aurora australis, and then if you have a telescope, almost all observable matter in the universe is in a plasma state. Now, plasma in the industrial context is mostly generated by applying voltage between two electrodes in a low-pressure gaseous environment. Whether or not AC or DC is applied depends on the kind of plasma you want to create. AC current creates RF plasma, which is named that due to the radio frequencies that are used to create electromagnetic fields to energize and ionize those particles. DC electricity, shockingly enough, makes DC plasma. Plasma like this is used in many contexts, like coating and etching in the semiconductor industry, on computer chips, and also used in medical applications to sterilize instruments and to eliminate biohazards. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of this very short video. I'm going to work on putting out a little bit longer videos, a little more consistently. I don't know nobody's watching this right now, but if somebody does come back and watch this in the future, thank you. Hopefully things are going well. Or I'm known for something horrible on the internet. We'll see.